The silverware clinked against bone china as my mother's words landed between us like a grenade. "The family table is at capacity," she said, not looking up from her meticulous arrangement of the seating chart. "We've placed you at table 18 in the back, near the kitchen." I froze, my finger hovering over the elegant layout of my brother's wedding reception. 300 guests, every business associate and social climber in my father's contact list, and his own daughter relegated to the equivalent of the children's table. "Table 18, I repeated, my voice steady despite the sudden hollowness in my chest, "while James and Victoria sit with the Morgans and the Hamiltons. Victoria's father is merging with BrightPath Technologies next month," my mother continued, her diamond tennis bracelet catching the light as she adjusted place cards. "We need those connections, Olivia. You understand business necessities." My name is Olivia. I'm 32 and a tech entrepreneur. This is the story of how I transformed from family afterthought to the power they couldn't ignore. The irony scalded like acid. 10 years ago, my brother had laughed when I left medical school to launch my startup. "Little Liv playing businessman," he'd sneered over Sunday dinner. "You'll come crawling back when reality hits." My parents had nodded in solemn agreement while I sat in humiliated silence. They never knew that I'd built Meridian Technologies from that little idea into a $2.4 billion enterprise. As far as they were concerned, I was still failing upward at some tech company, barely making rent. I'd kept my success carefully hidden, operating through holding companies and proxies, letting my Uncle Russell serve as the public face of Meridian. While I made all the strategic decisions behind the scenes, Uncle Russell, Dad's estranged brother who'd been written off as the family failure, handled the press conferences and public appearances, allowing me to build in obscurity. I'd planned to reveal everything eventually, perhaps when Meridian went public next year. But staring at that seating chart, watching my mother casually dismiss me yet again, something crystallized inside me. A decade of calculated patience evaporated in an instant. "Mother," I said quietly, "do you know who supplies the semiconductor chips for BrightPath's new product line?" She sighed with theatrical patience. "Olivia, not everyone finds your technical chatter fascinating. Please, I have 300 guests to organize." I placed my phone on the table, screen facing up. "Table 18 is where the help sits, correct?" "Near the kitchen staff, yes." "Your brother is marrying into the Peterson family. Do try to dress appropriately for once. Nothing experimental." Her eyes flicked dismissively to my simple blazer. Brunello Cucinelli, though she wouldn't recognize the understated luxury. I tapped my phone, activating the screen. "I'm canceling my weekend meeting in Tokyo to attend. The Peterson deal is important to you." "Vital," she corrected, finally looking up. "James says it will save their third quarter. Victoria's father has been under tremendous pressure." Another tap on my phone. "Then I should probably keep my meeting." "Olivia, NX7 semiconductors," I said, "are the only components compatible with BrightPath's new product architecture. Meridian Technologies controls 100% of NX7 production." My mother blinked, uncomprehending. "Meridian," I continued, heart pounding but voice calm, "is finalizing a $58 million exclusive supply contract with BrightPath next week. Or rather, we were." Her perfectly manicured hand froze over the seating chart. "You work for Meridian." "As what, some kind of secretary?" I turned my phone toward her. The Meridian executive dashboard displayed on the screen, my name and title clearly visible at the top. "CEO and majority shareholder," I said. "Table 18 seems inappropriate now, doesn't it?" The color drained from my mother's face as her eyes darted between my phone and my face. "That's impossible. Meridian is Russell Porter's company. Everyone knows that." "Uncle Russell is the public face. I built Meridian from nothing while you and Dad were busy framing James' community service certificate for the living room wall." She reached for my phone with trembling fingers. I pulled it back. "I should call James," I said, standing up, "to discuss the seating arrangement and the BrightPath contract that's keeping his future father-in-law's company solvent." "Olivia, wait!" Panic crept into her voice as the implications sank in. "We didn't know. You never told us. You never asked." I slipped my phone into my pocket. 10 years, and not once did anyone in this family ask what I was building. My mother stood knocking over a crystal paperweight. Your father will want to discuss this. James should be included. We're family, after all. Family, I repeated, the word hollow, like when James told Dad not to co-sign my first business loan, or when you both agreed I was throwing away my potential on some garage project. We were trying to protect you. Table 18 protected me too. It showed me exactly where I stand. I walked to the door, then paused. I'll see you at the wedding, Mother. I've decided to attend after all. My driver waited outside, holding the door to my Tesla. Not the flashy sports model James drove to impress clients, but the understated version favored by actual tech executives. Everything all right, Miss Porter? Michael asked, noting my expression. Perfect, I replied. We're making a stop at the office before the airport. I need to speak with the semiconductor division. The Peterson-Porter wedding was exactly as extravagant as one would expect when old money married new. 500 guests, crystal chandeliers, champagne fountains, and enough flowers to populate a small botanical garden. I arrived 20 minutes before the ceremony, slipping into the church quietly. My mother intercepted me in the vestibule, anxiety radiating through her perfect composure. Olivia, she hissed, eyeing my simple black dress with newfound respect. We've been trying to reach you for days. I was in Tokyo, business. I smiled pleasantly at a passing guest. James is frantic. Victoria's father has realized the BrightPath contract is in jeopardy. I finished for her. How unfortunate. My father appeared, his usual commanding presence diminished by the dark circles under his eyes. There you are. We need to talk immediately. After the ceremony, I said, I wouldn't want to miss my brother's special moment. The wedding proceeded with picture-perfect precision, Victoria resplendent in her designer gown, James beaming with his trademark confidence. I watched from the 10th row where my place card had mysteriously migrated from table 18. At the reception, James found me by the champagne fountain, his smile strained. Quite the party, I said, accepting a flute from a passing server. Cut the crap, Liv. His voice was low, urgent. What the hell are you doing? Attending my brother's wedding. Congratulations, by the way. You know what I mean. Dad says you're threatening the BrightPath deal. I sipped my champagne. Not threatening. I've already redirected those semiconductors to Samsung. They offered 12% above market. The color drained from his face. You can't do that. Peterson Technologies needs that contract to survive the quarter. Need, I corrected, is a negotiating weakness, James. You taught me that, remember? When I needed $5,000 for server space and you told me to get real experience first? Victoria appeared at his side, her bridal smile faltering when she saw me. Darling, Daddy's looking for you. Something about an urgent call from BrightPath? Later, James snapped, then forced his expression to soften. Business can wait, sweetheart. This is our day. Yes, I agreed pleasantly. Today is about family, isn't it? Speaking of which, I brought you both a gift. I handed James a small envelope. He opened it, confusion crossing his features as he examined the contents. Bank statements? He asked. Your bank statements, I clarified, from your personal offshore account, the one where you've been depositing Peterson Technologies funds to cover your gambling debts. Victoria's perfectly contoured face went slack. What is she talking about, James? She's lying, James said automatically, but his hands trembled as he flipped through the papers. Meridian's Financial Security Division handles auditing for Peterson Technologies, I explained, turning to Victoria. We acquired the auditing firm 3 years ago and kept the acquisition quiet through a holding company structure. The auditors report directly to me, which is how I discovered the unusual transactions. We flag unusual transactions. Your father's company has been losing money for months, but James has been hiding the extent of it, along with his own withdrawals. This is slander, James hissed, crumpling the papers. It's evidence, I corrected, which I'll be sharing with Victoria's father right after I tell him Meridian is canceling the semiconductor contract. James grabbed my arm, fingers digging in painfully. Fix this, he growled. Whatever game you're playing, Fix it now. I met his eyes steadily. Like you fixed things when I needed startup capital? When I came to you for help and you laughed in my face? Get a real job, you said. Stop embarrassing the family. That was different, he protested. You were being unrealistic. Was I? I gestured around the opulent ballroom. Who paid for all this, James? Peterson Technologies, the company that's 3 months from bankruptcy without my semiconductors? Victoria's perfect mascara began to smudge as tears formed. Daddy said everything was fine. He promised. Your father lied, I said softly, and my brother helped him. James's grip tightened. For God's sake, Liv, think about what you're doing. This affects all of us, our family name, our reputation. Our family? I echoed. You mean the one that excluded me from holiday photos because I didn't dress professionally enough? The one that said I was throwing my life away because I didn't follow the path you chose? My mother appeared, champagne in hand, her face flushed. Olivia, that's enough. You're making a scene. A scene, I repeated, like when you seated me by the kitchen at the rehearsal dinner, or when Dad told his golf friends I was finding myself instead of admitting I ran my own company. Victoria's father pushed through the crowd, his usual confident demeanor cracking. What's happening here? James, why is your sister talking about our contract? I turned to face him, extending my hand. Mr. Peterson, I don't believe we've been properly introduced. Olivia Porter, CEO of Meridian Technologies, though you might know me better as OP Holdings from the negotiation calls. The great William Peterson stumbled backward as if I'd struck him. Your OP? The one who's been acquiring our supplier companies? The same, I smiled. Your due diligence team should have dug deeper. A simple background check would have revealed the connection. You've been buying our suppliers? James asked, confusion mixing with dawning horror. Among other things. I pulled out my phone. Over the past 18 months, Meridian now controls 70% of Peterson Technologies' supply chain. We've also acquired most of your outstanding debt from creditors who were anxious to offload the risk, particularly after I shared some of our audit findings with them. Victoria let out a choked sob. Daddy, is this true? Are we really? Mr. Peterson loosened his bow tie, sweat beading on his forehead. Princess, it's complicated. Business is... We just need time. Time won't help, I interrupted softly. Your company has been hemorrhaging money for years. The semiconductor deal was your last hope for a turnaround. My father finally stepped forward, his face a storm of confusion and dawning realization. Olivia, all these years, when we thought you were struggling, I was building an empire, I finished for him. One that's now worth more than Peterson Technologies and all its subsidiaries combined. Funny how appearances can be deceiving, isn't it? The murmurs from the wedding guests grew louder. Phones appeared as people started connecting the dots. Victoria's carefully curated society wedding was becoming a public relations nightmare. Please, James whispered, his arrogance finally cracking. Olivia, you can't do this. Not today. Think about what this will do to our family. I laughed, though there was no humor in it. Our family? The one that made me sit at table 18? We can fix the seating chart, my mother pleaded. We can fix everything. Too late, I said, checking my watch. The markets open in Tokyo in an hour. Peterson Technologies stock is about to have a very bad day. Victoria grabbed my arm. You'll destroy everything. My father's company, our future. Your future was built on quicksand, I told her. James has been embezzling from your father's company to cover gambling debts. I didn't create this situation. I'm just the one who discovered it. How did you know? James whispered, his face ashen. I own the company that audits Peterson Technologies books, I said quietly. I know everything, James. Every cooked number, every fake report, every cent you've stolen. Victoria whirled on him, her designer dress whispering across the marble floor. You've been stealing from my father's company? The perfect wedding was unraveling thread by thread. Guests were openly recording now, society's elite capturing the moment a powerful family discovered they weren't as powerful as they thought. Mr. Peterson's face had turned purple with rage. "Security! Get them out, all of them!" "I wouldn't do that," I said calmly, "unless you want Meridian to call in all the loans we've acquired from your creditors. We own quite a bit of Peterson Technologies' debt now. It would be a shame if it all came due at once." The security guards froze, looking uncertainly between Mr. Peterson and me. Power was shifting in real time, and everyone could feel it. "What do you want?" Mr. Peterson finally asked, his voice hollow. I straightened my simple black dress. "Want? I have everything I want. A successful company, respect in the business world, the satisfaction of knowing that the family who dismissed me now depends on my mercy for their survival." James stepped forward, his handsome face twisted with desperation. "Olivia, please. We can work something out. Maybe a board position at Peterson Technologies? Full partnership in the family business?" "Partnership?" I smiled. "James, by this time next week, I'll own controlling interest in Peterson Technologies. Your gambling debts and Victoria's father's mismanagement have seen to that. The semiconductor deal was just a formality, a courtesy before the takeover." Victoria sank into a nearby chair, her wedding dress pooling around her like broken dreams. "This can't be happening. Not today. Not at my wedding." "Table 18 really does have a lovely view," I said, echoing her father's earlier condescension. "Perfect for a family in your new position." My mother tried one last time. "Olivia, think about what you're doing. We're your family." "No," I said quietly. "You're the people who taught me that success only counts if it comes with designer labels and society connections. Thank you for that lesson. It made building my company in secret so much sweeter." I turned to leave, then paused. "Oh, and James? Those gambling debts you've been hiding? Meridian now owns those too. We'll be in touch about a payment plan." The grand ballroom erupted in chaos behind me as I walked away. Victoria's sobs echoed off the crystal chandeliers, mixed with Mr. Peterson's angry shouts and my mother's attempts to maintain social dignity. Outside, my Tesla waited at the valet stand. Michael held the door open. "Everything okay, Miss Porter?" I looked back at the expensive venue where my family's carefully constructed world was crumbling. "Everything's perfect, Michael. Let's head to the office. We have a company to acquire." The next few weeks were a blur of headlines and business meetings. Peterson Technologies' stock plummeted as news of their financial troubles, and James' embezzlement leaked. Victoria filed for annulment, unwilling to be tied to a failing dynasty. My parents tried desperately to reach me, leaving voicemails that evolved from angry demands to tearful pleas. I focused on what I did best: building and improving. Meridian absorbed Peterson Technologies' valuable assets while discarding the bloat and corruption. We retained most of the employees but restructured the management, starting with James' department. 3 months after the wedding, I sat in my office reviewing quarterly reports when my assistant announced an unexpected visitor. "Send them in," I said, not looking up from my tablet. The door opened and expensive perfume filled the air. My mother stood there, looking older and less certain than I'd ever seen her. "The receptionist didn't recognize me," she said quietly. "I had to show ID to prove I was your mother." "Security protocol," I replied, finally meeting her eyes. "We've had some interesting visitors since the takeover." She sat down uninvited, her designer bag, last season's model now, clutched in her hands. "Your father and we've been doing a lot of thinking about how we treated you, about what we failed to see." "And?" I kept my voice neutral. "And we were wrong," she whispered. "So terribly wrong. We thought success looked like James, all flash and no substance. We didn't understand that real success was what you were building." I leaned back in my chair, studying her. "Did you come here to apologize, Mother? Or because the country club membership is up for renewal and you need help with the fees?" She flinched. "We deserve that. We deserve all of it. But Olivia, you're still our daughter. Surely that means something." "It meant nothing when I needed your support," I said calmly. Why should it mean something now that I don't? A tear slipped down her perfectly made-up face. Because we've learned. Because seeing everything you've built, everything you've become. We're so proud of you, Olivia. Even if we don't deserve to be. I stood up and walked to the window, looking out at the city where my company had become a major force. Pride is easy when success is visible, Mother. The question is, would you have been proud of me during the struggle? When I was working out of a garage wearing the same clothes every day because every spare cent went into the company? No, she admitted softly. We wouldn't have been, and that's our shame to carry. I turned back to face her. James called again yesterday. He wants a job at Meridian. And? I told him what he told me 10 years ago. Get some real experience first. Stop relying on family connections. She nodded slowly. He's living in our guest room now. Victoria's family, they want nothing to do with us since the scandal. The mighty fall hard, I observed. How does it feel, Mother, being on the other side of society's judgment? Humbling, she whispered, terrifying. Educational, I suggested. I returned to my desk and pressed a button on my phone. Rachel, please bring in the package for Mrs. Porter. My assistant appeared moments later with a thick envelope. I handed it to my mother. What's this? She asked, opening it carefully. A fresh start, I said. Information about the small business loan program Meridian runs, real estate listings for affordable commercial spaces, contact details for legitimate business advisors, everything you need to build something real if you're willing to do the work. She stared at the papers, then at me. You'd help us? After everything? I'm not helping, I corrected her. I'm offering an opportunity. What you do with it is up to you. But understand this, there will be no shortcuts, no special treatment, no trading on the Porter name. If you want to succeed, you'll do it the way I did, through hard work and real value. My mother stood, clutching the envelope like a lifeline. Thank you, Olivia, for the opportunity and for the lesson. One more thing, I said as she reached the door. That table by the kitchen at James' wedding? Best seat in the house. It's where you see people's true colors. She nodded, understanding the message. As the door closed behind her, I returned to my work. The company I built needed my attention, and I had more important things to do than dwell on the past. Sometimes the best revenge isn't serving someone humble pie. It's making them eat it at the kitchen table they set for you. And sometimes the greatest success isn't proving others wrong, but proving yourself right. Meridian Technologies continues to grow, now one of the most respected companies in the tech sector. James eventually found work as a junior analyst at a small firm, learning the value of honest work. My parents opened a small boutique with a loan they qualified for. Nothing flashy, but something real. And me? I still keep my old garage workbench in my office. It reminds me of where I started and why appearances mean nothing compared to what you actually build. The kitchen table, after all, is where real work gets done.